during that time, I swore like, and it had to been the Lord because I almost hated him. My heart had a harden towards him. It got to where I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to look at him. I didn't care where he was living, how he was living, and he knows all this. So, but he never would quit. He still always tried to get me back, and he was always calling and messaging me, and I was so mean to him. I was so mean to him. It was awful. I mean, but at the same time, I still, God was telling me to take him food, and so I would take him groceries because I knew he wasn't working and didn't have nothing to eat, and we still bought him Christmas presents and took them to him, me and the girls, and just different things. But at the same time, I couldn't stand him. I worried about him. I don't know how to explain it, and I swore that I wasn't never going to take him back. And I remember, so here's where this started. I'll try to keep it short. It's a little bit of a story, but he had gotten in some trouble and got put in jail. And um, when he was released from jail, he had asked the judge to send him to a rehab instead of just sending him back out on the streets. So the judge was sending him to rehab, and he was at Wendy's one morning waiting on his counselor or somebody to come and take him to that rehab. And George happened to be in there, and they may have met a time or two, but I don't think they really knew each other. But he heard George's voice and automatically knew who he was. So he tapped him on the shoulder, and he had told George a little bit about what was going on. And he had asked George to pray with him. So George
Wow.
sat down and prayed with him. And George called me at work that morning. He said, "You'll never guess who I talked to and what happened." And I was like, "Who?" And he told me about it. And he said, "Now, Misty," he said, "before I pray about this, I need to know how are you praying about it, because I don't want my prayers to contradict your prayers, and the Lord's not about confusion." And I said, "Don't you dare pray for us to get back together." I did. I was like, and you can ask him. I said, and he said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Don't." I said, "You better not." I said, "Because I am not getting back with that man. I can't stand him."